Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. You are up close and personal with Angela on behalf of Aspired Authors Magazine. We have author and playwright Betty Pinckney with us on today. For those that do not know who I am the founder and CEO of Aspired Authors Magazine, which is a platform that we use to bring um, awareness to brown authors all over this world and touch on topics that's affecting our brown community, such as depression, anything that's mental illness, domestic violence, suicide awareness, anything that's affecting our brown community, we're touching on it inside of the magazine. So if you're not following the magazine, please go over and follow the magazine. If you're not following our YouTube, please go over and subscribe to our YouTube. We have some amazing authors that have come on this platform and they're sharing their message and they're sharing just a little bit about who they are. I thank God for the platform that gives me an opportunity to share with you guys a little bit about the authors and who they are, their message, and how you can connect with them. So today we have author and playwright Betty Pinckney on. I'm going to bring her up and give her an opportunity to introduce herself and share just a little bit about who she is. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
All right. How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course, this is Up Close and Personal with Angela on behalf of Aspired Authors Magazine. So I want to give those that visit my platform and visit Aspired Authors Magazine an opportunity to find out just a little bit about who you are. So that they can connect with you. So I'm going to pull you up on the screen and I'm going to give you the opportunity to share just who you are and what this journey has been like for you.
Okay. So, my name is Betty Pinckney, and I am a playwright and author from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So, my journey has been since about 2007. I started off in my church, working with the youth. Never liked writing. English was not my favorite subject. Actually, math was. And just being in the church, I believe in timing and seasons. I believe that it was the right time and the right season. Being in the church, working with the youth, someone that was in charge of the youth was asking a question, and they said, I wanted to do a Christmas skit for the youth. And I said, okay, that's great, that's wonderful. And then she turned to me and said, I want you to write it. And then I reluctantly said yes, but after what, I don't write. That's not my thing. And she said, no, you can do it. And being born and raised in the church, we were kind of taught. She was older than me to respect elders. So wrote the Christmas skit, and that was the first time I wrote anything that had to do with entertainment, anything that had to do with a play, and discovered that from the first time I wrote the play that I was a songwriter as well. So that from that moment on, that first time writing a play, I think that day I wrote about 3 or 4 songs that went along with the play. Shocked, like, wow, I can write a play. And just continue to develop the gift, continue to write. And I remember when I did, so I started doing it in the church, and then my plays started getting too big for my church. So that's when I opened it up to the community. And the second play, I do remember the second time when I did the play, there was a voice, I believe, from God that said that this is what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be doing this. So I discovered just by being obedient, being at the right place at the right time, something that I've never done. I don't have the story that a lot of writers have. I never wrote in journals. I didn't always know that I can write. It was just being obedient. Someone asked me to write, and I said yes. And now we have, 2020. I'm still writing. I'm writing plays. Wrote books, and wrote a screenplay that I am now auditioning for. It's just amazing how God can just turn something that you never thought you had into something great. And I'm just looking forward to more things, more great and mighty things happening in the future. So that's my story, that I was asked to do something that I thought I couldn't do. And now,
Obedience.
years later, I'm still doing it. The gift is still being developed, and
Obedience.
I'm just excited about it.
Obedience. It's called obedience and faith. That's what you did. You was obedient and you stepped out on faith. You know, the word of God said we have the if we just have the faith of a mustard seed, and that's very little. If we have that faith, and you had faith, you stepped out on faith, you believe, and God made room for your gift. You know, He just used you, and you was obedient. You were willing to be used, and that's what it's about. And that's why I thank God for this platform, because it make it possible for people, because everybody's story is not the same. And there may be somebody out there that needed to hear your story that may have not been through all the stuff that everybody else has been through, but just need to be obedient to the word of God and needed to hear you share that on today. So you don't never, I thank you for coming on today, and sharing with us, because it's definitely, I don't believe in coincidence. I believe that someone needed to hear that, and he had to use you to share that message, because I'm not a playwright, so I couldn't share that on my platform. So he had to bring you on my platform. So I thank him for bringing you on my platform. I thank him for us crossing paths. I want to hear some about your books, and I want to hear some more about your play, and how individuals can follow you, um, because you're doing some amazing things. There's definitely some technical issues. Are you there? There's look like some delays. I see that you're coming on
I
again.
see
Hold
that
on.
you're trying to connect, Angela, but I don't.
Can you see me now, Angela?
I removed the other one.
Okay.
You're up. I can see you.
Yeah, it was freezing on my computer, so I just did it on my phone.
Okay. It's always something, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's something all the time with technology. You know, we
Of
can
course.
never, we can never, you know, we just have to learn how to, adjust, and, and,
That's what you
and,
do.
and keep going. Um,
Right.
but I don't know what people heard and what people didn't hear. But again, I want to thank you for being obedient and for stepping out on faith.
Yes.
I know you said that your story is not like everybody's story, but again, it does not matter. Your story still has to be told, because your story is on of that of obedience and that of faith. And somebody needs to hear that, because there may be some people out there that don't have to go through all the other things that the people write about, and they
Absolutely.
need to hear about faith, and they need to hear about obedience. Even the people that go through stuff, because I know been through a lot, but still, I struggle with faith, and I struggle with being obedient.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I struggle with
Yes.
that.
Hmm.
So, your message is definitely needed. And I thank you for being obedient and coming on, and sharing that today. But I want you to share just a little bit more, about your plays and about your books. And then I want you to share how individuals can get in contact with you, how they can come see a play. If they're not in Philadelphia area, how if you're going to be going on tour, or how they can see your play if they can't come to Philly. We want to hear some of those things because I think you're doing some amazing things, and I think that there's some people's lives that could be touched by the things that you're doing, and I
Thank you.
applaud
I
you for it.
appreciate that. Okay, so my plays have dealt with, so I deal with real life stuff that deals with the root. Some stuff that people don't want to talk about. I mean it's touchy, but God has given me a message that if we don't deal with the root, we can't heal. So it's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be hard to talk about, but in order for you to be healed, we have to go deep. So I have dealt with messages, just to throw out some. I have dealt with messages on like preachers being addicted to pornography. What happens to a girl who's abandoned by her father? She may want to be looking for love in all the wrong places. You understand what I'm saying? So I deal with things like that. I've dealt with molestation in families. How do you deal with it? Some of us have came from families where the motto was, do as I the motto was, don't do as I do, do as I say, don't do what as I do, or what goes on in this house stays in this house.
Mm-hmm.
But what if I'm hurting? You know what I mean? So I dealt with things to where you saw, and the individuals, everybody deals with things differently. And there's one family, the one girl, it was two of them that was molested. One of them turned to drugs. One of them turned to alcohol, where the other one turned to being a workaholic. But they still turned to something. You know what I'm saying? To deal with the pain. And then the mama didn't want to talk about it. What goes on in this house stays in this house. But then during a deep intervention, you found out why she didn't want to talk about it, because it happened to her. Her mother did the same thing to her. So it was repeating generational curses. But somebody has to break it. And these are subjects that people, especially in the church, I grew up in the church. Sometimes we don't want to talk about things like that.
Talk about it.
And I remember when it came to me and I said, well, Lord, you sure this is kind of, touchy? And I remember, hearing the Lord giving me confirmation and saying, yes, there's people who I love, my children who have been going through this, but they never talked about it. So they can't be healed. So somebody got to share this. So we got to tell it. We have to share it. So yes, you're going to be entertained because, you got to entertain people. But in that, you're going to get a message on how to be delivered, helped, and healed from your situation. That is my motto. That's I have Inspired with the Pen. So that's my logo through my company. It's called Inspired with the Pen. So that's my goal in life. I want to inspire you with my pen. Well, I want you to leave my plays, inspired, knowing that there's an answer to your problems. A lot of people are giving problems, showing problems, but what is the answer? And we who believe in the Lord Jesus Christ believe that He is the answer. So I want to present that to the people. Yes, you're hurting. Yes, you've been abused. Yes, you had an abortion. Yes, you've been molested. Yes, you may be addicted. But here's the answer. He is the way out. This is what you do. So that's my goal, is to try to aim that to people. So as far as people coming to my place, no, I didn't. So far my plays have been in Philadelphia. This year, actually, I was going to Philadelphia and Baltimore because I have an actress who, I think this would be like her fourth play with me. So she kind of brings the Baltimore crowd. And I was actually going to Baltimore this year. That was been my first other city than Philadelphia. But my last play, I've had people from all over actually that came. Family came up from South Carolina. Like I said, Baltimore, some of the actress family from Tennessee came. So it was people from all over actually came to my place. So I'm
I'm
just
from South
excited. I just
Carolina.
love it.
What part of South Carolina are you from?
Well, my family is from Williston, South Carolina.
Okay, I'm from Anderson, South Carolina, but I currently live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Okay. Well, come on. You can come on up when I do a
Oh
play.
yeah, I got family in Philadelphia. All my family, the rest of my family live in Philly. They live in North Philly.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
So yeah, I definitely yeah, I hopefully I can get up and check you out.
So one of my books actually came from a two-part play. So the book is called "If Walls Could Talk, They Would Tell Secrets." So there's the book right here. You can find it on Amazon or anything. But I'm gonna tell you how it became a two-part. So I had the first part. This is the one about the family selling, the molestation in the family, and wasn't thinking about doing the second part. I was gonna move on. The audience asked for a part two. And I said, well, Lord, if God give me inspiration, then I'll do a part two. And that's how my part two came, because the audience wanted a part two. They wanted to know, well, what's going to happen? And I know the family had, the intervention, but what happened to them? So they were interested in the story. And God gave me the part two. And I did the part two. So I'm excited that the audience were happy about the play and they asked for a part two.
Because you are touching on things that are affecting our now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when you come from a place where you don't understand and you don't know because nobody has taught you, then you're looking first you got to discover yourself. You're looking everywhere to discover who you are.
Yes.
But once you discover yourself, and they can see the message in what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and they see themselves. They may not be at a place where they think that they are supposed to be spiritually.
Right.
So they can connect on the realness and the authenticness and the genuineness. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying.
So when it's amazing, because people don't understand these books that they have. It's more than just the book that they have sitting on these shelves. If they're not doing anything with that message that God has gave them in that book, because He didn't give them that book just to sit on these shelves.
Absolutely.
These books need to be in people's hearts, and they need
Yes.
to be actively living in their lives. I thank you for bringing those plays and those books to life so people can see it in action. Because when people can see stuff sometimes, because a lot of people ain't going to church.
They're not.
It is what it is. And then
Yep.
with the pandemic happened, it shut down a lot of stuff, and it made us revert to a lot of different things, and it made us have to go to online stuff.
Yes,
So
that's
now
true.
with the different changes in the different circumstances, then people reverting to a lot of different things. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm on book number 15 now, and
God
most of
bless.
my books are inspirational. Um,
Right.
I'm actually gonna I'm actually gonna introduce my book to the world tonight on my Friend Girls show. It's
Okay.
about suicide awareness. And this book has been a struggle because it's been in the making since 2018, and it's
Mm-hmm.
been a struggle. I lost my dad through the journey, and
Mm-hmm.
I was hospitalized and had some life changing things to happen to me as well.
Mm-hmm.
So this has been a journey, but I thank God for this journey,
Right.
because this journey has allowed me to get here. I'm here. I met you. I'm
Exactly.
here to allow you to share your story so that other people
Yes.
can be healed, because there's somebody on my platform that needed to hear it,
That's
because He
right.
brought you to my platform. And I thank you for being obedient.
Mm-hmm.
I thank you for being obedient and coming
Thank
on
you.
and sharing. But I want you to share with those that are tuning in, those that are gonna hear this replay, how they can reach out to you, how they can follow you, if they want to come to one of your plays. Do you have a play that's coming up soon or that's
Well,
planned?
I had one this year, but of course, COVID,
Mm-hmm.
stopped that in the track. So we're hoping by next year, I'll be able to do that play. And that play is called Brotherly Deception. So the themes to this play deals with jealousy, betrayal, and just finding out that everybody in your inner circle is not who you think they are. You know what I mean? Yeah,
You know
it deals
what?
with those themes. Yeah.
God is
So
so good. God is so good, because the 12 o'clock hour, I had another young lady on,
mhm.
and she has quite a few books out too. I think she's on number 13, but she she's an
Mhm.
urban fiction writer, but she has a message, and y'all messages are similar. Y'all want to touch on topics that
Oh,
people
maybe
ain't
we need
touching
to
on.
connect.
Y'all are touching on topics that people don't even want to touch, that people
Yeah.
don't want to touch on,
Mhm.
that people
Mhm.
don't want to talk about,
Yeah.
that people brush under the rug, that
Right.
people don't want to talk about, that people keep your mouth shut. What?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly
Yeah.
the things that you talked about. Me and the young guy that did the suicide awareness thing on Sunday, we just talked about all of this. So it's just like this platform is just staying connected. I thank you for being obedient.
And God
That's
knows
the
that
message.
suicidal awareness is needed. during the, God knows, and you know, we don't talk about it in our culture, but you know, the rate is going higher in our culture for that.
And it's because of the things that we won't talk about.
Because we won't talk about it. We won't talk about
We
it.
won't talk about it. If we
No.
talk about the molestation, if we talked about the rape,
Yes.
if we talked about the abortions, if we talked about
Yeah.
all of these things that plague us
Yeah.
in our community, if we
Yes.
talked about it, suicide wouldn't be suicide.
It's true.
But then they don't told us that we're supposed to be so strong, and then we've learned, and then they don't told Johnny shut up, Johnny sit down, Johnny no, Johnny just tell
Right.
Johnny come sit down, and Johnny let's talk sometime.
Yes.
Instead of turning on the TV and sending them to their room and putting the game on. Come on, Johnny, let's have a conversation. Come
Yes.
on, Sally, let's sit down. During dinner time, let's talk. Let's sit at the dinner table. Let's not
Yes.
have dinner in the dining room. Let's sit at the dinner table and
Yes.
sit down and have a meal and pray together and eat
Exactly.
and talk and conversate
Let's
and get
talk
to
about
know
it.
each other. It's
We
sad
have to
that
talk
we
about
live
it.
in the house with somebody for all them years, for 18 years, and then there's stuff about them that they go off to college and then they start living their life, and you didn't even know that they had that side of life.
You didn't even
That's
know it.
sad, and that's happening right now, every day in this world, because
Yes, it
we are
is.
not talking about things. No,
We're not
I'm not
talking about
asking
it.
you to be
Suppressing
I'm
it.
not asking you to be your child's best friend. I'm not asking you to be their buddy. I'm not asking you to be their pal, but talk to them. Let them know that if somebody do something to you that's not right, let me know.
That's right. That's right.
Let me know.
Talk about it. We
That's
have to
what
talk
that's
about
about.
it.
We got to
Yep.
learn to talk about it. But I want you to talk about how people can get in contact with you, because I'm telling you, I can get the going, and I can get all out. We can be here all day. But I want people to be able to get in contact with you. I want them to be able to purchase your book. I want them to be able to follow you. Um, if somebody wants to see your play, if they want to see your play, one of your old plays, is there a way that they can see something that you've already done?
Yeah, well, I have some things on my like I have some clips and stuff on my Facebook page. It's called BP
Uh-huh.
Productions LLC. If they go on there, they'll be able to see some of the scenes that I was talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. So they can go on that, and then on my Instagram it's Playwright_Betty. But on my but I have a page, www.bpplays.com. And if they go on there, they can kind of stay in touch with me on there. I would every time I'm doing something, I always update it on my website. So they'll be able to do that.
Yes.
Yeah, but my
So,
Facebook page and my Instagram, it actually had, you can see a lot of the things that I put up there. So I did put some scenes from plays on there, and they'll be able to see it.
okay. So I'm definitely going to be sharing this across my social media platform. I want to thank you for coming on and being a part of Up Close and Personal with Angela on behalf of Aspiring Authors Magazine. I tell you, it has been an honor to interview you on today.
But thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you, and you have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. So you have it Up Close and Personal with Angela on behalf of Aspiring Authors Magazine. We have author and playwright Betty Pinckney on today, sharing with us her journey. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great day. I'm sorry. Well, I mean, I knew we were supposed to have an interview, but I thought it was